I'm going to go ahead and put in the link before I forget about it. How about that? There we go, guys. I got you. Let's see here. I should do it before I even go live, but I forget every freaking time. It's a little nuts. That's how my brain works. All right, let me slide the mic down just a little bit. Oh, sorry about the pop. There we go. All right, we're good. And there is the StreamYard link. So anybody want to join the show, just hit the link. Same thing as calling in, except instead of calling on a phone, you're joining through StreamYard. You can turn your camera off if you don't want to be on camera, but I do ask that when you're in the back room before I put you on, show your face so I know that you're not a robot or some creep. That greatly helps. How's everybody doing this evening? We are one day away from the beginning of the weekend. This week flew by really fast for me. I got to go to the Backyard Brawl last Thursday, spend Labor Day weekend with my family. Kids were off till yesterday, actually. They had an extended Labor Day weekend. So it felt like a short week, but I've tried to explain to people with my job, and this is a job, I really don't have any Mondays, hump days, or Fridays, or Saturdays. It's all the same. We do the same thing every single day, and that's pump out college football videos every day. That's what we do, guys. So the one thing that I ask on these live shows, well, all videos really, is please hit the like button. That's not even saying that you like me or like the video. It just helps the video. Whenever you do that, whenever you hit the like button, it helps the video hit the YouTube algorithm. Whenever that happens, YouTube suggests it more. More people see it. More people click on it. And boom, that is how you grow a video. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do so now, and I would greatly appreciate it. Shout out to everybody that automatically hits the like button every single time. And I know there are a few of you out there. Let's see here. Hold on. I forgot to put on my banner. There you go. I'm not going to leave that on the whole time, just real quick while I'm explaining. So there's my P.O. box. And I'm really excited because people are sending in gear to represent their team. And that's what the P.O. box is all about. It's about you sending in something, whether it's a mini helmet, a pennant. Yes, I am not a Notre Dame fan, but one of my subscribers is. That's what he wanted to send in. Wrong way. Texas Tech. Dadgummit. There we go. I'm getting this down. Sam sent in the Texas Tech picture you see right behind me. Anything to represent your team. A cup, a jersey, a hat. But I do like the mini helmets. It is P.O. Box 360, Liberty, South Carolina 29657. And shout out to those that have already done it. And look behind my shoulder. Yes, 2 mini helmets. That one is actually Glenville State, which is where the former West Virginia head coach Rich Rodriguez came from. That was his first coaching gig. And then that one, of course, is LSU. Today was like Christmas, to be honest with you, because I got 3 things. I got the helmets, and then I got that the round sign. I got the Notre Dame sign the other day, so it's a good day. I love it whenever I get that notification in my P.O. box that says you have gifts that are too large for your actual P.O. box, and they give you these lockers, and that's always a good sign. It can't fit in the mailbox, so I got to go to the locker. Good sign right there, guys. Good sign. Real quick reminder, if you have a question or a comment, or you want to make fun of me, hey, I understand. Some people don't like me. Best way to get my attention is the chat button. It is on the bottom right-hand corner, that little dollar sign. That little dollar sign that you see on the bottom right-hand corner under the comments section. Anything that you put in that super chat, I will throw on the screen. I will read it, answer it to the best of my abilities, or read the comment and address the comment, and even troll. Hey, you're supporting the channel, and we appreciate you supporting us financially so much that even if you're making fun of us, we're going to read it and throw it on the screen. Nate the Great, what's going on, buddy? Haven't seen you in a while.
It's been long. It's been a while. Yeah. I've been doing good. How are you?
Pretty good, man. Can't complain. College football season is here. That's the best time of the year for college football YouTubers. This is go time for us.
Yep. Yeah. Sorry for the loss for the Pittsburgh game, but
Man,
I mean, it
and
happens.
what you just now said, that's exactly correct. Pitt didn't win that game. We lost the game. I think we moved the ball pretty much at will. I think our defense played all right. We just
Right.
made too many mistakes and they took advantage. It is what it is. Some games are just like that.
So basically, you're just saying you just pulled Nebraska. Basically.
Well, we pulled what used to be called Clemsoning.
True.
Yeah, there you go. So we found out just a couple of days ago. Well, the vote was on Friday. We found out that the college football playoffs are going to be expanded to 12 teams sooner rather than later. And of course, the stipulations are the top 6 conference champions get the automatic bid, right? And then the next 6 ranked teams below those get in after them, and the top 4 conference champions will get the first round bye. I like that. In fact, and I even posted the screenshot and the link in the video that I made. I called that over a year ago. That was the one that made the most sense to me. That's the one that I like the most. It still had incentives in there, so it's just not like a free for all. Hey, be halfway decent and you're invited. No, it makes the conference championships more important. It makes every game more important. So teams are frowned upon for taking any games off because, hey, you might not get that bye week or you might not get in at all. So I like the 12 team. I like it better than the 6 or the 8 or the 10 proposed. A lot of people like the 16, which I do like the 16, but I like the bye week, keeping the incentive of conference championships. It is important.
Yeah, I agree. I prefer 8, but I wouldn't stress about the 12-team playoff. I mean, I'm down for that too. I prefer 8 teams. 8.
I think 16's a tad much. So whenever I started getting these tweets and links about they're thinking about expanding to 24 teams already.
That's too many.
What in the world is going on?
That's too many.
My gosh, we just passed, expanding them to 12 team. Now they're talking about 24 teams. So let me read this real quick.
That's the problem.
This is per ESPN.com. College Football Playoff Committee meets about moving up timeline for expanded 12-team playoff. All right, so they're moving that up. Let me make sure this is the right one before I read it. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Let me read through this real quick, guys. This might not be the wrong one. Yeah, this is not the right one. I don't know where that link came from then. But this other one says CFPI's 24. You know what? I think I read that wrong, guys. I think I read that wrong.
All of us.
Do you know what it said? Do you know what it actually says? Oh, man. Good old Golden Blue, dude. Good for a laugh at least once a day, right? Good gosh. No, they're not. They're actually not talking about 24 teams. They're talking about, oh, man, 2024. Eyeing 2024 for 12 teams. Devil in the details is what it says.
Yeah.
Wow. And
it happens to the best of us.
I don't feel like, you know what? I don't feel like jumping out of this live and changing the thumbnail to this and the title to this. So, I'll just let people make fun of me. Yeah, we'll just do that.
It is what it is, huh?
I saw 24 and my eyes lit up, I guess. Because I already knew what this is saying actually, so I thought it was saying something new. So
yeah,
on the bright side of things, there is some big news.
Yeah, if that were real news, that'd be a big bad news though too.
I'm glad I didn't make a video on it.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, the thing about it is, on the bright side, there is big news. That like Dabo Swinney signing a $115 million 10-year contract. That's
oh my gosh,
pretty big. You
That's a
know,
lot.
what I'm trying to figure out now is if you're Alabama and you're a chancellor at Alabama or whatever, and you walk in that room because you got to go back in once again to try to increase Nick Saban's pay, do you just say, okay, that's it. Let's just sign him 10 years, $130 million, $13 million a year, and forget it.
No,
Well, they,
You know,
did,
because
they
if they
didn't.
keep having,
They didn't top Nick Saban's contract. Now, as far as overall guaranteed, I think they did, but like per year, Nick Saban is still the highest paid coach. So I don't know what the difference is, but that's what I saw.
it used to be
Because there's a
Kirby
clause
Smart.
in Nick Saban's contract, you're not going to pay a coach more than Nick Saban because automatically it will get renegotiated, and even if it's by $100,
Right.
he's going to be the highest paid coach.
that's why I say, you know, at some point you just walk in the room and say, okay, 10 years, 130 million, and be done with it. So nobody will
Yeah,
pass
just keep it close. Keep it close to Nick Saban's. That's all you can do. Because once you pass him, they're going to bump him up again.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's what I would say about that. We do have a newcomer as far as being a guest on Trey BTV. What's going on, buddy? I think your connection is a little spotty. A little spotty. Are y'all getting anything on your end?
Oh, there
you
we go.
I think you're good now.
He's a West Virginian fan. Okay.
Yo, what's up, GBD?
Not much, buddy. What's going on? What's going on, buddy?
Looks like at West Virginia Internet's what's going on.
Yeah, it's well, Joey, you can attest to that. It's rough sometimes up there. Big time rough.
I can.
But
it
it seems like you've got yours figured out, so that's a plus. I mean, there's still some glitchy issues here and there, but overall, it's pretty good. I would say.
GBD, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you a quick question. It's actually kind of a funny question.
All right.
I was at the brawl. I tried to find you. Couldn't find you at the brawl, but I did meet your brother in my section, and I saw the shirt, and I was like, "Where's he at?" He's like, "Well, he's over there." And he said that he had to try to find new seats because he almost got in a fist fight with a Pitt fan. Can you expand on that?
Well, I don't want to go too much into details because it's the Pitt fan was being inappropriate. Let's just say that. But yeah, he did almost get in a fist fight. Me too. I almost got in a fist fight as well. So,
So
it was like I don't know.
Well, there was a Pitt fan that kept walking through our section, and I'm pretty sure he was just like drunk really bad. And
well, did you see what happened at the beginning of the game? Well, before the game even started. So apparently, the student section thought that the West Virginia section was their section, so they were filling it up, and the guards or the officers, whatever you want to call it, came up to him and said, "No, you're not here. You're over there," because they were on the sidelines, not in the end zone. So you saw this mass exodus from the upper deck part of the end zone, because the Pitt students thought that was their section when really it was the sidelines. Listen, I don't know if people realize this, but Pitt literally bust in about 20,000 students for this game.
Damn.
20.
Oh my God, you should have. It was crazy.
students.
It was crazy. Just walking around the stadium where like the barbecue fest was set up and stuff.
Yeah.
It was nothing but Pitt students, and God, they're just so disrespectful and rude, man. I was just standing there, taking a video of the whole the tailgating and everything, and this group of Pitt fans walked by, students, and they just look at me, and I got it on video too, and they just go, "You smell like effing incest. Get out of here," and kept walking. I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, I can definitely believe that. That was a run. Like, I saw signs that said, 35,000 student body and only 4 last names, stuff like that. Yeah. Oh yeah. I saw it.
And did you see all the JT Daniels sucking the toes pictures on the boards? Did you see those?
Oh yeah. I saw that too. they are. Now, the older Pitt fans were fine. Like, I had conversations, like I tailgated with them. They were actually really cool. But those students are
horrendous.
Yeah, pretty
terrible. Jimmy Touchdown says, "Bro, I sent you a Marshall mini helmet. Hey, somebody sends me a Pitt mini helmet, I'll put it in my background. I'm true to my word. I'm not, I don't hold your fandom against you. You can't help it. If that's who you're a fan of, then that's who you're a fan of. But I am excited. I got my first 2 mini helmets with the Glenville State and the LSU. That makes me super
Nice.
excited. So hopefully it catches on and we can build those shelves and it's hard for me to project the vision that I have for my background. I've tried to explain to Joey. He kind of understands. But Joey, he's up there in West Virginia. I'm way down here. It would be rough to put it together and ship it down or in pieces. Then I'd have to assemble it and it might not turn out right. So I might talk to my dad because he's a really good carpenter as well. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but a majority of the West Virginia population is actually good at like cabinet making and wood carvings and all that stuff. Like they're really good at that. So my dad falls under that category. I'll see if he can rig that up because what I have in my head is going to be really, really awesome, isn't it, Joey?
Oh,
Yeah, it is gonna be nice.
It's going to give it some depth. That's the purpose of what I have in my mind is to give it depth because right now, I mean, you see the background and you know it's behind me, but you can't, you don't realize how far back, like there's a shelf and then the wall is even farther back. So I'm going to give it depth so it looks like you could actually walk in the room. Okay. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
GBD, did Talkus Pitt ever show up or give an explanation or anything?
He said that he asked off for that game months ago and he ended up getting a new boss and the new boss wouldn't honor that day that he asked off. So he had to work that day. Yeah.
Okay. I see.
He could have gotten a video of me wearing a Pitt jersey. I mean, they did win.
Yep. His loss, man. It's his loss.
Yep. It is his loss. Once
Well,
in a lifetime opportunity, right?
They didn't win. West Virginia lost. Let's be honest.
Man, yes. So you were there live, right? Yeah. So watching JT Daniels live is unbelievable.
He is a NFL quarterback. I mean, just seeing because I was sitting. You were probably sitting near the same place I was, but I was behind the end zone.
Yes.
So I could see the rush coming towards him. And so seeing it from that angle, seeing him step to the side or step back or just make one step to the other side and just knowing pocket awareness is what I'm trying to get at. Dude, He is so good. I can't wait to see what the season has in store for him. And I really hope that he'll come back next season. I don't know if he will, but God, it would be so nice if he did.
Yeah, that would definitely be sweet because like you said, now for the running game, our offensive line is really, really good. But for pass protection, it's still really, really bad. But he's such a good quarterback. He's got like a sixth sense where he knows where the rush is coming from and he knows exactly where to step to. With Jarret Doege, even if he wasn't getting pressure, he would almost step into a sack that wouldn't have been there in the first place.
Yeah, I agree.
Like the complete opposite.
Yeah, he was almost. I mean, Doege was a sitting duck, man. He was just.
Yeah,
as soon as
like he was wearing cement shoes.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But seeing a quarterback that has pocket awareness and knows when to step one way or the other is really refreshing as a West Virginia fan. So that was cool to see.
Yeah, those receivers have got to learn how to catch a ball.
Man, don't get me. As soon as Bryce Ford Wheaton, as soon as they picked six, I walk out of the stadium. I didn't even stay. I was so mad.
Well, I did too. Not because I was mad, because I was exhausted. I was gonna stick it out because we were going on 4 hours at the time. But whenever that happened, I was like, man, I want to beat this traffic. I'm too exhausted to endure a loss and then walk.
Yeah, because Pitt fans would have been talking in your ear all the way out of the stadium. And
then come to find out, JT actually almost sent it to overtime. So I probably would have been kicking myself in the rear end if we had come back.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of watched it on the TVs as I left. But as I was walking down to the exit, I saw them down the ball at the 2, I guess, because there was like some sort of like misread on the fair catch.
Yeah.
And they were going to down at the 2. And at that point, I was like, this is just, I'm done. I can't watch them endure this. I've got to go.
Well, it started with that I'm going to call it fourth and guaranteed from here on out. Like forevermore, I'm going to call it fourth and guaranteed because we were literally 6 inches away and we were averaging 6 yards a carry. This is a rivalry game. You're up by 7. You have a chance to ice this game over, and you don't go. Like sometimes you have to put the percentages and analysis out of it and play in the moment. And in the moment, the right thing to do would have been to go for it.
You know, Kuz, he said it. He said it best on Twitter. I saw him tweet something about Neil Brown in that situation, and he said that it was paralysis by analysis.
Yep.
He just thought way too much into it, man. You got to give C.J. Donaldson the ball, let him go for 3 or 4 yards, go kick a field goal, and win the game.
Yep. Yeah, you're right.
I don't get it.
I mean, and in his press conference, he was like, I looked at the percentages, and maybe I second guessed myself at first after the game, but now that I look back at it again, I would have done it the same every time. Are you?
Yeah, that made me mad.
That means you had no confidence in a run game that was obliterating that front 7. Okay, so if our run game was not doing well, I can most definitely understand that decision. But our run game was shredding that front 7.
I don't know.
So no, that makes no sense.
Yeah, we put the most rushing yards on Pitt since '99.
Exactly. And lost the game.
Dude, I don't. And what's funny is last season, every game we went for 100 rushing yards, we won, and we go way over that, and still lose. So.
Joey, do you have the link to the Patreon page? Jimmy Touchdown is wanting it.
That's what I was just typing in. That Nightbot types it in, and so she should be doing it within the next 5 minutes. Should we give him a link?
But he said, bro, you need to put the Patreon link in the description. I can't find your Patreon. That's a problem. It should pop up under Golden Bluted Patreon. So if you can't, I'm going to have to look into that. Also, at Tim Prangley, USC is a JUCO directional school. Is he here? I haven't seen Tim. I know Tim was under the weather. He's had COVID, so he might be MIA for right now. Just trying to get over that. So hopefully he feels better.
There we go.
But
all right,
I like Tim because he brings a West Coast perspective to it. Like that was one of the purposes of me creating this YouTube channel is I saw, well, first of all, when I started this channel, there was 0 West Virginia fan-based YouTube channels that were over 1,000 subscribers. Now I think there's like 4 or 5 maybe. I know Miku's, Webcast. Who's the other one, Joey, that we had on here? We had him on our show. You know who I'm talking about.
I can't think.
So we have several that are over 1,000, and I wanted to, because when you're in your own box of your team and your fan base, you don't realize how different these other fan bases are, their traditions, their pregame, their tailgating, all that stuff is until you actually start talking with them. You're like, man, then you feel more special about your team because you're unique. Then you realize how special each and every other team is because they're unique. All teams are different. I mean, everybody has different traditions, different tailgating, different a lot of things. So that's one thing I like about Tim is he brings that USC West Coast perspective. I love it.
Hey, GBD, I got a quick question for you.
Go ahead.
So I'm down here in Georgia, originally from West Virginia. My entire family's from Southern West Virginia. That's why my connection. But down here, I hear a lot of Georgia buzz. Obviously, they just blew out Oregon. I know you were calling for the upset of South Carolina where you're at over Georgia. Still feel confident in that call, or where are we at?
Not at all. I'm sticking with it, but I am not confident at all. Nope.
What's the talk on Spencer Rattler up there?
Well, Carolina fans aren't worried about Spencer Rattler. They're worried about the offensive line, and I do agree with them. That offensive line has got to learn how to hold on to blocks for the pass rush. He can't scramble and throw every stinking shotgun play call. So that offensive line has got to figure out their footwork and to get those hands up quicker.
Yeah, for sure. Thoughts on the Kansas game? I mean, it's a trap game in my eyes. I don't know how you feel about it.
No, I don't think it's a trap game. I think, the spread is 16.5. It could be closer than that. But I think West Virginia wins comfortably. I think West Virginia will be able to actually get a few snaps in with Nico. I think Kansas is going to be a better team than what they were last year, but West Virginia is also a much better team than what they were last year. Had we had the West Virginia team from last year play this year's Pitt, we lose by 3 touchdowns easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree there.
Um,
I agree there. I think a couple of games to watch and keep an eye on this weekend, and there are a couple of my picks. So I've got Pitt upsetting Tennessee, and I
That
also
should be an
have
upset.
Kentucky over Florida, and I also have
Gotcha.
Kentucky over Florida. But yeah, Tennessee is favored.
What about this one? Jimmy Touchdown, thank you for the $5 donation. Says if Neil Brown loses to Kansas, starts 2-4 this year, will Morgantown be on Urban Meyer watch, or is it Rich Rod or bust? No, if that happens and we do fire Neil, we actually have a fallback plan in place right now, and that's Graham Harrell.
I wouldn't be mad if Neil Brown was fired after the Pitt game, like you said. I'm 100% agree.
Yeah,
I've
I
had
mean,
time
I
to-
would.
I've
I'm
had
not
time to
calling
cool
for his
down,
head.
but-
I'm not on the bandwagon of fire Neil Brown. Fire. I'm not on that. But what I was saying is, if they did, I would be like, he hasn't done anything for me to vouch for him anymore.
Yeah, I think Neil Brown's a program builder. He's a culture guy. I love him. I want him to do well. I want him to win more games at West Virginia than any other head coach. But so far, he's not. He is not what I thought.
We have to
I
remember.
have West Virginia going 9-3 before the Pitt loss because I had that as a win. But if we still go 8-4, that's I'm good with
I'm
him
happy with
staying.
that.
If we
I'd
go
be very
8-4,
happy
we
with
have to go at least 8-4 for me to feel good with him.
Yeah, we go 7-5. We're just stagnant at that point.
That's like barely a step forward with JT Daniels. You can't take a baby step forward with JT Daniels. It's just no.
If you would have
Packer
taken,
10
because,
Packer 10,
I
hold
would
on.
say-
Packer 10 says the real Carolina wears light blue. In basketball, yes. In football, still yes. I agree.
if you would have taken Don Nehlen's record from 1980 to 85 and put it in right now, say that was our record the last 5 years, this fan base would have been like, we got to fire him. It's horrible. We got to fire him. He's got to go. It's just the thinking of this fan base. You got to realize that a good coach, sometimes it takes some years to build that program. I think
Joey,
Neil Brown's a great coach.
I do agree with you on that, but the era of college football that was in is so different to now. I mean, with the transfer portal
that's what
now,
I'm saying,
you can build a team in a year.
Well, I used to think that too, Joey, but then I actually looked it up, and here's his first 5 years. Starting in 1980, 6-6, 9-3, 9-3, 9-3, 8-4, and 7-3.
Yeah, look at who they
Dang
played.
good.
I'm serious. We had other than Penn State and Pitt and Virginia Tech, pretty much we had a week schedule. I'm not saying that.
I could agree with that, but I'm saying like if Neil Brown had 3 9-3 seasons in a row this early in his career, like starting year 2 and had 3 in a row, like we'd be like lifetime contract.
Well, yeah, of course we would. But I can remember in '88 going undefeated, and in '89 having a pretty bad year. '90 not a great year. It took us all the way to '93 before we went undefeated again. So I mean, things go
we
up
had
and down.
we had another chance. What was it? 90. It was either 96 or 97. We went undefeated in the Miami game, and we were up with like a minute left, and they blocked the freaking punt and ended up winning. Like that should have been a win.
Yeah.
I think we ended up losing a total of 4 after that. But if we beat Miami at home right there, I think West Virginia goes undefeated in that year as well. We had a good team that year.
Yeah.
But that home
I
loss
just
to
wanna-
Miami killed our momentum.
I just want to say real quick, it's
27.
not to change the topic or anything, but looking at the ACC this year, just seeing like after week 1 how the teams look. If and I'm not saying that the ACC is the best spot for West Virginia money wise. Obviously, it makes more sense geographically with built-in rivalries,
Mhm.
but we would tear the ACC up. I honestly believe that.
With this year's team, yes. Last year's
Yeah.
team, we'd probably be – I mean, we'd still have a winning record and get to a bowl. But this year's team, we would have a really good shot of getting to the ACC championship. Seriously. I mean, NC State's supposed to be a top 3 team in the ACC. They did not look good against Appalachian State, or who did they play? East Carolina, excuse me. North Carolina didn't look good against App State. Clemson and Miami would be the two toughest teams. I think we could hang with them, but I wouldn't see us beating either of those two teams. But everybody else, absolutely. And I know we just beat Pitt, backyard brawl on the road, lost to Pitt. So you got to throw Pitt in there. But if that was a home game, I think it's a different. I think that's a different situation as well. So that, I mean, you watch the game. That was most definitely a 50-50 football game, and the mistakes flipped the coin over to Pitt. So it is what it is.
Will you be at the OU game?
I'm going to try to be at the Oklahoma game and the Baylor game.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll be there for Oklahoma. So
yeah. Well, you should. I didn't. I forgot that you were there, and then the whole brother thing happened. So I really.
Well, I sent you a message in
got
that Twitter group
distracted.
chat. That Twitter group chat that we're in, and
Well,
just
my reception at that game was like horrible.
yeah, I just lost track of time. Well, you responded. I just lost track of time and everything. So there was just so much going on.
Oh yeah, it was a lot. But there's a lot of. I mean, even in the loss, it was a lot of fun. But the game took way too long.
Dude, it was like a 4-hour game.
I think they said it was the longest game ever that didn't go into overtime.
I would believe.
It
Dude,
was a
every
long
play,
game,
it
I
seemed
know
like
that.
every play on their scoring drive went under review.
Yes, it was ridiculous. Hold on, guys. They're asking for the StreamYard link again. So give me 1 second here. Take it away, Joey.
Here, I can get it for you real quick. Don't take me a second.
Okay, you got it.
There
You got
go.
the StreamYard link?
It's in there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in there.
Yeah, that was I mean, it was a long night, and of course, it's even longer whenever you end it with a loss. But this is what it is. Pitt played; they did play good. I'm not saying they were bad. They played good, but we just made too many mistakes. It's ridiculous, and I'm confident that West Virginia beats Kansas by at least 2 touchdowns. Moves on, whoops Towson. I think we go on the road and we whoop Virginia Tech. They looked terrible against Old Dominion,
Oh God,
and they're worse than I thought. Virginia Tech's in trouble.
Grant Wells is just absolute. Wow.
He's a
Thank
train
you,
wreck. Marshall.
Marshall.
He's a train wreck.
Oh yeah.
Hey, talk is Pitt.
Thundering Herd.
I'm 99.99999% sure that that's you, but show your face real quick just in case. All right, I got you, buddy. You're good. Dr. C, let's see. Just show your face real quick, please. we've had some crazy people like try to get on here, and you remember that one
I don't
that was
believe-
like that looked like he was a kid, and my gosh, that whoever that was had some issues.
Yeah, I
I
believe Dr. C's the one that doesn't ever show his face. There he is.
Oh, he
Okay,
showed
does
it.
show
He
his
showed it.
face.
He's
There's
good.
one that comes on. And doesn't. Yeah,
All right, I got you.
there's one that comes on and doesn't show it.
Did you see where the brawl literally ran out of beer?
that was had some issues.
Yeah,
Somebody-
Dr. C.
Somebody's hold on. I think it's Dr. C. I think you got us on a feedback. So turn the show down while you're on live, please.
Gotcha. Sorry about
There
that.
you go. You're good. No problem. It happens. I actually that's ingrained into my brain because I used to call in the radio shows and they're like, turn your radio down. We're getting a lot of feedback. Oh, my bad.
See what happens when you click on the StreamYard, it opens another tab. So
Yeah.
your old tab's still on, yeah.
Yeah,
you do that,
that's
you
what
get
it
feedback.
does.
Hopefully I didn't interrupt anyone.
Well, it doesn't matter if you did anyways.
Yeah,
That's what
okay.
we do around here.
Well, I got a question, and maybe a statement. I know, watching. I'm a USC Arkansas fan, and I'm calling into a West Virginia show. But
Okay.
JT Daniels,
I can
USC,
dig it.
all the drop balls and the missed. Could that potentially been cured if we had a real week 0, where like the
Mm.
teams play
The FCS.
FCSs, and get into a rhythm? They haven't played game speed in 8 months, and then you have them play game speed against Pitt, right?
I
I mean-
actually agree with that, and I think it's either 4 or 5 years straight. West Virginia has started off with an FBS team. It's either Virginia Tech, Maryland, or Pitt, and somebody else that started off the year. And every year, I mean, even the Maryland game last year, our wide receivers were dropping balls in that first game. I absolutely think that would help. Now, I'm not using that as an excuse. Pitt, they didn't need, that FCS tune-up, and they beat us. So, you can't use that as an excuse. But I do think that would have definitely helped. Not going to, you can't
Well,
overshadow that.
also,
And we have an FCS in week 3.
think about how
Like,
long
if
it's
you're going to
been.
play an FCS, make that game 1. Get it done, over with. It's a practice game.
Or call it college football
Yeah, like-
preseason and not have it count.
That could work
So-
too.
That
Yeah.
way they, because when you have that, what the team's most afraid of is giving too much of the playbook out whenever they, they're playing an FCS. That's
Right.
what they're worried about. But as far as timing, as far as game speed, as far as rhythm for both the offense and defense, especially when you, like I said, haven't played football in 8 months, I like the idea. I know not everyone does, but I think, and it gives, a chance for these FCS or historically black colleges like UCLA's playing one this weekend.
Yep.
Have them gain money from those events.
It's very important to those universities. I agree.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely. David Z says
would,
KU is a real football team now. West Virginia on alert for an L. Yeah, and I think they're probably going to win 4 games, something like that. But West Virginia is not going to be one of their wins.
I would much rather
especially
have
being in
played.
Morgantown.
Yeah, I'd much rather have played Kansas than Pitt game 1. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, exactly right. If this were like, let's see, if this were Texas Tech, Kansas State, Iowa State next game, even at home, after a rough rivalry loss, I would be a little bit more nervous. But Kansas, people are putting too much into Kansas upset Texas last year, played Oklahoma close, and they're going to be better this year. That equals a bowl team. No. They were not 1 step away from being a bowl team. They're like 2 steps. Maybe they take another step towards being a bowl team, and they grab 4 losses. But they are not a bowl team. They're not going into Morgantown and beating a West Virginia team whose starting quarterback is JT Daniels. That's not going to happen.
One of our channel members had a question for you there, GBD. I put it on the screen.
What does that mean, though? Like, not accept any basketball stuff right now?
For your back wall.
Oh, no.
For your back.
Anything. Yeah, no, basketball's fine.
And I have one last question, and I'll let someone call in. But it Big 12, a really interesting game that's coming up, I think, is BYU Baylor. That's going to be a really good game. How do you guys feel about that one?
I think I honestly have BYU upset. Baylor ups. Let me get that right. BYU upsetting Baylor at home. That's a really, really tough place to play. And BYU has proven to me that even when they lose like a quarterback like Zach Wilson, like they did a couple years ago, they're still a 10-win team. So, if this was on the road, I would take Baylor easy, no problem. But this being on the road in Provo, and I think that's a top 20 home atmosphere. I think it's underrated. So, I think BYU could most definitely upset Baylor.
I agree. I you know what? I would give it to the team that's playing at home that game. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be the most well played close game this week. BYU. Baylor, great defense, great coach by Aranda, and BYU. They're tough to beat, and they're tough to beat in Provo. That's a tough.
And Baylor got. I think they returned 4 of their 5 offensive line, but that's basically it on offense. They lost a lot of production from that offense.
Yeah. It's gonna be down to I think by a touchdown at most. The difference. It's gonna be a close game. Exciting. And lastly, the other game that most people will not watch because it's gonna be too late. Arizona, Mississippi State. That's gonna be an interesting one. Arizona.
That's in Tucson, isn't it?
Yeah, that's in Arizona.
I think Arizona will beat them. Then
really,
they looked really good going on the road and beating San Diego State.
I don't know about that.
They didn't just beat them. They didn't just beat them. They whooped San Diego State. Okay, how much better
Yeah, Mike-
than
Michael.
San Diego State do you think Mississippi State is?
I don't know. I can't judge how bad San Diego State is, really.
Right. And it's not at Mississippi State, so that's why I think Arizona has a shot.
You know
just
what?
think that Mike Leach
I would
will
say
tear it
that's a that's a great pick, but it just seems like the Pac-12 finds a way to lose it in the fourth quarter.
That's
And-
the only thing. Yep.
They make it competitive, and then and that's how the Pac-12 is. There, Arizona State will win it one week and then lose it in the fourth quarter, and then Stanford does the same, and that's how the Pac-12 is.
Same with
Wasn't
UCLA.
the
Same with
over-under-
UCLA.
Yeah,
Wasn't the over under like 70 on this game?
That's a
Really?
lot. I'd probably still take the under on 70. I mean, that's a lot of points.
I think it was way up there. I'm pretty sure the over under was. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
that's a lot.
what's
That
the
is
over/under
a lot.
for Iowa State? 3.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Hopefully, it's
That's
not
all.
another
I can't-
7-3 game.
How bad is Alabama going to blow out Texas?
Oh, 3 touchdowns.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Easy.
They are coming
In
straight back
Texas.
down to. They're coming straight back down to reality after that game.
Texas has a freshman starting, right? Ewers.
Yeah, I mean
He
he's
was
a really
smart.
good quarterback, but they have a lot of issues that they have to fix. They have a lot of talent, but they also have a lot of issues to go with that talent. So yeah,
That's a heck of a ask to ask. This is his first game starting, right? Because I don't think he touched it down at Ohio State.
they played last week though. I think.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
Oh, I
who
thought
did Texas beat? Was it UL Monroe? I think. Hold on, let me double check that. I know they played somebody. Give me 1 second here. And Quinn Ewers actually had a halfway decent game, I think. Not great. He didn't light the world on fire, but all right. So let's go to week 1.
It's funny. A reporter
And
asked
the
Coach
12.
Saban if he had warned the team about the horns down penalty, and he didn't even know what it was.
Yeah, Texas beat UL Monroe 52-10, and Quinn Ewers
Oh, wow.
was let's see, he was 16 for 24 with 225 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 1 interception.
Mm.
So he made the UL Monroe defense look a little bit better than what it should have, and I think that Alabama defense will torch him. I think he's going to have a great future at Texas, but Alabama, they are not ready for Alabama. I heard that Alabama's band isn't even traveling to the stadium because Texas is giving them crappy upper deck seats, so they're not even going.
Yeah, I agree. I think Texas is 2 or 3 recruiting classes away from competing. I think it's too soon. I mean,
Packer 910. Let me see. Just show your face real quick. All right, you're good. You're good, buddy. All right, we have a
I'm
North
sorry.
Carolina
So the
game.
over under. That was my bad. The over under on that game was 57.5.
Okay,
It was the Oregon Fresno State
I
game.
might take the over on that one then. Yeah, I
Yeah,
might
it
take
was
the over.
that
on
Oregon Fresno State game I was looking at earlier. The line is now 61.5. It was higher than that earlier. But the line on the Oregon Fresno State now is over 61.5. So that's the one I was looking at.
that. Gotcha. Packer 910. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, just trying to figure out this defense.
So how's the post Sam Howell era going so far for you?
Drake May's going to end up being a better quarterback than Sam Howell.
You know what, guys? I forgot my my Pepsi, so excuse me just for 1 second. I'll be right back.
Well, it's
Drake
gone
May's
off,
no-
everybody. We're going to have a Patreon show. We'll have a Patreon show immediately following this this show. So any of our Patreon members just come over to the Patreon page. We'll put the link in there, and you come on into the show and join us. We'll have some special guests there tonight too.
Yeah, and I know you're wanting to start it at 10, so we'll cut this off here in about 10 minutes or so. So
Oh, it don't
what were you
make a
saying about the
difference
new
to me.
quarterback of North Carolina? Better than Sam Howell, you think?
I think so. He's thrown for almost 700 yards, 9 touchdowns, run for 1 touchdown, no interceptions. He's got 1 fumble. That was at the worst possible time in the fourth quarter,
Yep.
Saturday afternoon.
Still got the dub.
But yeah, there was some questionable calls. Watching Mac Brown's press conferences this week, they've turned in some calls they want reviewed by the ACC. But I mean, the defense is a complete enigma. They looked bad to start out with, gave up 21 points in the first quarter, or the first quarter and the first drive of the second quarter. Then they had like 4 or 5 stops in a row. Carolina scored 34 unanswered points.
Yep.
And then in the fourth quarter, it was like, that's my 2-year-old. I'm sorry.
I understand.
In the fourth quarter, between penalties and just bad angles and missed tackles,
Yep.
I don't know what went wrong. But I got a question for anybody that wants to answer it. Have y'all ever known anybody to play a 4-2-5 or a 3-3-5 that had a top-notch defense?
Well, West Virginia did back whenever Rich Rod was there, and there was a couple years where it was hit and miss, but that 2006 defense was top-notch, but it's few and far between.
Yeah, that was a
What-
3-3-5.
Doesn't
did he
it
say?
seem
He said 5-3-3.
the 3-3-5?
It was a 3-3-5 stack.
Yeah.
Doesn't it seem like everyone's playing a 4-2-5 now because of the spread?
Yes, it does.
Yeah,
Yes, it
I mean,
does.
when I grew up, the 3-4 and the 4-3 honestly was the way to go because people ran the ball. Now people go 4 downs and they go for it on fourth, and without any pass, without any running.
I still like the 4-3 better because at least you're giving yourself a chance to get pressure on the quarterback, even if they are throwing.
Yeah.
I know that's not giving you as much numbers, but if you're not getting any pressure on the quarterback anyways, then what's one extra defender going to do?
Yeah,
Eventually,
and I think
they'll find a spot open,
You'll see some teams only do a 3, kind of like a 3-8, because they'll just have 3 linemen and play zone for the 4 receivers. And
that's insane.
That's insane. The problem, it works sometimes because it can confuse the quarterback, but at the same time, he has no pressure. So
once he figures it out, it's over.
Yeah. Well, you know who do that? Arkansas did that to Matt Corral. And Matt threw 6 interceptions. Yeah.
He did not know what.
If anybody remembers back in the early 2000s when Jeff Castile started that 3-3-5 stack defense at West Virginia, it was because the other teams in the Big East were so fast; they had so much speed, and so they were beating us down the field, and stuff. So he switched it up and recruited speed, and we had a 3-3-5. I think that when he went to Arizona or Michigan and Arizona with Rich Rod, he took that same philosophy and it didn't work anywhere else because it wasn't that speed, like they had in the Big East. But there was bigger, stronger, faster, not faster, but bigger and stronger guys in the Big Ten, obviously. So that defense wasn't going to work there. I don't know if he even ran that defense there, but I assume he did. And I know he did at Arizona.
And that was the recipe that really helped Rich Rod. He started recruiting a lot of speed, and that's what helps a lot with that defense.
Yeah,
I agree. And West Virginia needs to get faster on defense as well. I like the guys that we have now. I think Mumu needs to have more snaps because his recovery speed is unbelievable. So even when he I like recovery speed than off the line speed better because what happens is a quarterback is reading that corner, right? And he sees that he's beat and doesn't realize his makeup speed is so good. So he'll put the ball in a spot where, he thinks he's good. And then next thing you know, Mumu is there with his, his speed, his makeup speed, and picks it off. So I'm really excited to see what Mumu is going to do at corner position. And I hate that Charles Woods went down, and it's looking like he's going to miss several games. That's not good at all. He's one of our best quarterbacks, but that also means that Mumu is going to get more opportunities, and I think he's going to surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, and plus that
Colby,
big four-star-
I misunderstood
four-star
a title on one of the messages that was sent to me. I thought it said they were looking for 24 team expansion, but really they're looking towards 2024 for the 12 team expansion. So I misread the title of the links and the Twitter messages that I got. It happens.
So we
What-
you
decided
mentioned
we're
our
going to troll
corners.
GBD.
Sorry, you mentioned our corners, GBD. I don't know if you saw. There's a tweet the other day on just how different our linebacking core, for example, is built completely different compared to what it was last year. So like guys like Josh Chandler Samito, who's now at Colorado, and those guys that have transferred out.
Yep.
The length that we've recruited through the portal at that linebacking core is crazy. Like I think Lee Pogba is like 6'2", whereas our tallest linebacker last year I think was like Josh Chandler Samito, and he was only 5'8" or something like
Yeah.
that.
Well,
So
I
it's
think it was like
crazy.
5'11" and a half.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know, but just seeing like the linebacking core that they brought in, and also our secondary defense against Pitt the tackling was just atrocious.
Yeah.
That was bad. But
I do like our linebackers because they're giving our safeties more help than what I thought they would. So it looks like we recruited length and speed to help with the inexperience of the safeties. Marcus Floyd, who's he's basically a bandit. He could play safety if they wanted him to. So I'm really liking that pickup now.
and what a
And-
hit he had, man! Woo.
Oh yeah, he's a headhunter for sure.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen that, go watch Marcus Floyd's hit on Twitter. I mean, he just absolutely laid this Pitt wide receiver out.
Yeah, he is. It was pretty nasty. Not gonna lie. Was that the play that was called for targeting? Is that the one that you were talking about?
Nope, it wasn't
Okay.
called for targeting.
Okay.
I think Wesley McCormick was the play that we got actually called
Yes,
for
it
targeting.
was McCormick, and he has to set out the first half of the
Yeah.
Kansas game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
I
he
got
had a pretty nice game, I think.
he did. I agree. I think what was weird was I think our defensive line had the worst game out of any part of our defense. I think our corners played good. I think our linebackers were okay. I think the safeties played better than what I thought. I mean, they still had issues because of inexperience. They played better than what I thought, but the defense, I know we got 5 sacks on Slovis, and the run game wasn't good, but I don't know. They weren't as fast as what I thought they were from last year. Like this, like something was.
Well, I expected a lot
3
more
of
out
those
Taj
sacks.
Alston.
3 of those sacks were recovery sacks, in my opinion. No doubt
Right,
about
yeah.
it. 3 of those sacks were recovery sacks.
Yeah,
I expected Taj Alston to have a really big game, and he just didn't have it, I don't think. And, maybe a lot of it didn't show up on the stat sheet, but I expected him to have a lot bigger game than he did. So that was kind
Right.
of disappointing. But Dante had a great game, I think. I think he was a huge factor. But outside of
Yes.
him, I don't really know, who nobody really stood out to me. I think you're right there.
and see that's where Messidor would have really helped us. I mean, he would have tore him up.
I think that C.J. Donaldson did well in the pass protection,
Yep.
running back slot. And then, I think that's it. Tony Mathis I expected a lot more out of him, man. He did not look like running back one to me, to be honest.
No, and I think Donaldson is going to win that one spot. And like I said after the game, to me it looks like Donaldson could be a Steve Slayton story where Steve Slayton, yes, he came in highly recruited, but he was not running back number one. He was not winning the practices. Then all of a sudden he was starting to win in the games, and then he won the practices. And all of a sudden now he's a legend at West Virginia. I think Donaldson fits that mold perfectly. I think he can definitely end up being that. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because I know Joey wants to go live on the Patreon. So I'm going to go ahead and do the last word. Once again, I'm going to explain this one more time. The reason I titled this is because I misread some Twitter and links titling that was sent to me. I thought they were saying that the playoff committee was looking to expand to 24 teams, but what it said, and I just read it, was they are looking at 2024 as the timeline to expand to 12. So I misread the 24. Instead of the year 2024, I thought it meant 24 teams. All right, so we will start with Packer 910. What is your last word of the night?
You're
Yeah,
muted,
buddy.
Packer.
Uh-oh, he dropped.
Oh,
All right, we'll go to Talk His Pit. You've been quiet too, man.
I was at my nephew's high school football game, so I lost my voice.
Oh,
Well, perfect time for last word then.
Well, yeah, they won. They won 55-0.
Wow. Yeah, that's a shellacking.
Well, what makes it funny is it was against the last year's state champion, so that was
Oh, that is fun.
so it was great. But I think the Pitt and Tennessee game, especially from Tennessee's standpoint, is they're looking at it like they're going to blow us out, like we have a lot of weaknesses. And I even said to Joey, and Joey 100% agreed with me on this, if Pitt would have played a cupcake team, then yes, Tennessee would have blew us out. However, since playing West Virginia, I think we were able to figure out what our mistakes were or what we did wrong early on instead of having to figure it out like last year at Western Michigan.
Yes. I think Tennessee's offense will be better, but West Virginia's defense is the better defense that you're going to
Well, the Tennessee's defense got their secondary, their first string got absolutely shredded by Ball State. Just like Georgia Tech, Ball State committed 18 penalties.
Yep. I agree.
So does that really signify Tennessee's that good, or did they just get lucky off of Ball State's mistakes?
I would think the latter, the mistakes. I mean, I think Tennessee's going to be a good team. I think their offense is going to be one of the best in the nation, but the defense it's going to let them down. It's going to cost them a couple losses, and this is probably one of those losses.
Well, they weren't able to sack Ball State not once.
Wow. Shame.
But thank you for having me on GBD. My voice is starting to get a little bit better. But
Getting warmed up.
oh, there we go. But yeah, thanks for having me on, Joey. I hope you and your wife feel better. Sorry you got COVID coming into Pittsburgh. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm about 80%.
Good job, buddy.
So we're doing better.
Good job, buddy. Joey?
All right, man. So we're going to go live on the Patreon page immediately following this show. So if you're a Patreon member, I'll put the link over on the Patreon page. If for some reason you're not able to chat when you click on that link, go off of it and click the link again and try it back in, because we have no idea what's going on. But sometimes it'll let you chat, sometimes it won't. And
Weird.
we don't know how to fix that. So, yeah, it's weird. So, other than that, I don't guess I have anything else right now.
All right, buddy. Good job. I'm sure the Patreon live show is going to be great as usual. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up, and the Patreon live show is going to start immediately. So if you're not a Patreon member, I think Joey put it in the comments. Maybe he can slide it in there one more time, or Nightbot can. I don't know. So if you want extra live shows, you want discounts on the merchandise store, Golden Bluted merchandise, vote on the live game streams that we're going to be doing, and of course the score prediction contest. There is cash money prizes up for grabs. Daniel Brazen won week 1, $20. Everybody gets paid on the same day, by the way, per month. It'll be the 23rd, but if you win multiple times, then you'll get a bigger payday on the 23rd. So you win twice, you'll get $40 on the 23rd. So Daniel Brazen, he's guaranteed $20 is coming to him on the 23rd. It's coming. Nobody can take that away from him. If he wins week 2, he's got 40 coming. So that's how it works. And the earlier, think about it, the earlier you get in on this, the more likely you're going to win money, because the later the season goes, the more chances you run out of. So the sooner you get in on this, the sooner you have a chance to win $20. And you can join Patreon for as low as $2 a month. So you win twice in 1 month. That's $40, and you only spent $2. Just saying, guys. Just saying. Appreciate everybody that stopped by. Everybody that comments. That helps. It helps. Hitting the like button helps. So make sure to hit the like button on the way out. Even though we're not going to be live, it still helps with the YouTube algorithm and gets it suggested. Greatly appreciate that. Everybody that joined through StreamYard. And, of course, everybody that supported the channel through Super Chat. It is greatly appreciated, guys. That's what keeps this thing going, because this is my job now. So it is my income. So all the Super Chats greatly appreciated. So we appreciate you guys. Y'all have a good night. Have fun on the Patreon show. I might stop by in for a few minutes or so. But another live show coming tomorrow. I just don't know what time. So make sure to have that notification bell on and jumping. And if you're not a subscriber and you're a college football fan, might as well. That's what we do here every single day. All right, guys, I'm out. Y'all have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.